What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning. So come by and say hello. All right, guys, I want to talk about land a little bit more because we're getting this slow drip of information, and I just had a chance to listen to today's town hall with Matt, where he got into land a little bit more, and I will do my full 5 biggest takeaways from the town hall, so keep an eye out for that. But specifically with land, I've had some ideas kind of floating around in my head that were just kind of exacerbated even further with the town hall today, and that is, I think the paradigm shift for land, is going to be something that people completely don't expect. So what do I mean by this? Well, when we were thinking like, oh man, such and such person has a region or they have a tract, like that's so crazy, they're going to make so much from land, right? I don't think we realized until very recently just how expensive it is going to be to work your land. I mean, we knew that we needed cards. We knew that we potentially needed buildings. Excuse me. But we also, we just found out like what a lot of those costs are going to be. So the land starter packages, for example, right? The land starter packages consist of 30,000 DEC if you want to get everything, right? If you want the full package, 30,000 DEC. You will also need 5 maxed cards to get the most out of your land, and I'm not even going to count those, right? Hopefully, people already have maxed cards, but you know that'll be at the very least roughly $20 right now. You can go and max out some of the common Chaos Legion reward cards for $4 a pop. So you know, again, that's per plot. Another $20. So we're talking about 30,000 DEC. But then in today's town hall, Matt was also saying that you will need to stake DEC. So you don't have to burn it, but you do need to stake DEC on the land in order to essentially stake your monster on there, right? So it's like a combination pairing. And the rough number that he threw out is if the card is maxed, it will be 10,000 DEC per max card. So 50,000 DEC for 5 max cards. So let's just do the quick math on that. And, you know, maybe I'll bust out my calculator here. Oh, well, there you go. You got a little preview of that, but I'm actually going to add a little bit more. So if we look at this, so 30,000 DEC plus another 50,000 DEC, right? That gets you to 80,000 DEC per plot just to get, you know, started on it, right? You're going to need to stake your monsters. You're going to need all the starter packages. So you multiply this times 0.00075, and oddly enough, DEC is actually well above this, or it's been staying above the 750 Splintoshi. It's like 760, 770 lately. But either way, we'll just say that. So it's roughly $60 per plot just to get started. And then if you don't have the cards, well, then you add another $20 right on top of that. So if you look at somebody who has a region, if it's $80 per plot times your 1,000 plots, it's going to be $80,000 you would have to sink into the game to maximize your land just at level 1. Just at level 1. So, you know, I've seen many large landholders, including Cryptomancer and several others in Math Chat or on Discord, talking about how like land is meant to be a long-term play, and so therefore there won't be as much like, you know, people may not go and max out their land right away. So all this like DEC burn that we're expecting, like people are just going to max out and take everything. I don't know how much DEC is going to get burned, how much DEC is going to get staked, because it might actually take quite a bit longer. But the paradigm shift that I'm talking about here is actually, if you own a tract or if you own a region, it's way more expensive. Now, I have 2 plots, and 2 plots seem totally manageable to me. And so part of like what I think about is, well, I put out that video a couple of days ago talking about how I wanted to be in a tract or in a region with a bunch of people that I know from this channel, right? So people who had a couple plots here, we could all get together. If there was enough of us, we could potentially fill up a full tract, right? Which is 100 plots. Or if we had more than that, we can like take up space in a region. Well, now I'm thinking I definitely want to do that, right? I think that I'm in a better position. Granted, okay, if you own a region, obviously you have, you have a lot of assets in the game that you can make use of, and you did really well. So I'm not trying to compare, my situation to that situation as apples to apples, because it's still very different. But from where I'm at right now, if you were to ask me, okay, well, is it worthwhile for me to like buy a region or buy a tract for like 10 grand and then have to spend, another, well, I guess what it'd be, $8,000, right? Yeah, divided by 10. Yeah, so it'd be another like $8,000 on my tract for 100 plots this time, right? That seems kind of crazy to me, because then I would be responsible. So region holders and tract holders, if you hold the entire thing, they are responsible for everything. They're responsible for all of the upgrades. They're responsible for pushing and putting everything that they need on their land. Whereas for me, in the situation that I'm in, and maybe I'm trying to rationalize it, right? Because I'm not a large landholder, but for me, it's just like, okay, well, if I want to be in a competitive tract or a competitive territory, competitive whatever, it'd be kind of nice to like split those costs with other people, right? It's just like, well, if we all get to upgrade the castle and keep in the tract and region respectively, and I'm not the only one that has to put capital towards that, well, that's kind of awesome, right? We get to level up buildings right away, whatever the other limitations or benefits that we get from the castles and keeps. It's going to be me and probably a bunch of other people in the tract, or me and a bunch of other people in the region. Whereas like if you own it, then you have to you have to level everything up yourself, which is kind of crazy to think about. When I just presented the numbers for a region, which to me are kind of mind boggling, but that's not to say that there probably won't be other benefits for region and tract holders, right? One of the other things talked about previously, and then again mentioned again today, was the idea of there being titles, right? And maybe those titles, prefix titles, essentially allowing or giving some kind of benefits. So, right, you can be a lord or a lady or a baron or a baroness or emperor or king or queen, whatever it is, right? So again, I don't know how that plays out. All I'm saying is that, man, it is expensive, really, really expensive to be a region holder and or even a tract holder and get the most out of your land with how much you're going to have to sink into it. Because again, it's not just DEC burning for your upgrades and your starter packages. It's going to be DEC staking for your monsters, and then it's getting maxed out monsters, which right now you can still get for a pretty penny or pretty cheaply, I would say, on the secondary market, or not secondary market, but on the main card market, if you just focus on the Chaos Legion reward cards. But ultimately, again, it's just something that I've been thinking about. I wanted to share with you guys and potentially get your thoughts on this. So my plan, obviously, I was never going to go and buy a tract, although for like 11K, I was like, I don't know, maybe if I YOLO into it, but obviously that's not going to be the case. So at this point, I'm kind of happy with my situation. I got 2 land plots, and if there are region holders or tract holders that decide that, hey, you know what, $80,000 is like way too much for me to manage this entire piece of land, let me go ahead and start selling off some of the assets that I have within here. So let me start selling off maybe some of the common plots, some of the things that I don't want, right? They'll still have to survey them and to make sure that they find their castle. But, ultimately it could make for an interesting opportunity if I wanted to get more land in the future, where it's just like, okay, well, I can handle 2 land. I can pay for whatever I need and get the max cards I need for 2 land. I could maybe even do that for 3, 4, 5. I don't know, right? But it seems like it's a good opportunity or good position right now. The other thing, and I'm going to close out with this, is from what we know so far, functional land, meaning you get resources and all this other good stuff, I think it's still going to be a while away. But for Q2 and land phase 1.5, they do want to make you work for your SPS. So if you are not working your land, meaning you have not surveyed it, you have not staked monsters, and those monsters are not as highly, leveled as they can be, you won't be maximizing the SPS airdrop that you're essentially receiving for free right now. So in a way, if people are slow to this over the next couple of months, or it becomes too expensive, it could be a situation where if you own land, right now I think I'm getting like 1.3 SPS per day for each of my plots, which again, is that good? Bad? SPS is like 3 cents. It's not even. So it's nothing crazy. But at the same time, if that SPS starts to increase in value, not increase in value, but if that SPS starts to increase in quantity, because now it's not split between 150,000 land plots that are just being held in game, but maybe we only get like a third of land plots or a fourth of land plots that actually get started from the get-go and are leveled up and have monsters staking on them because it's expensive, because it's going to be slow. There could be an opportunity there. Again, am I going to do anything different? Am I going to go and buy land? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you should ape into land right now, but it's just a thought experiment about where this could go and how I actually feel that maybe again. I know that obviously if I had a region, that'd be awesome. I probably wouldn't be complaining. But since I don't, I'm trying to view it maybe with a silver lining in the sense that, well, there could be some opportunities early on in the future because I can handle more than 2 land, and but I can't handle 1,000. I can't handle 100. But there might be some opportunities to jump in and start taking advantage of, the situation. So I don't know. That's all I have for you guys in this video. I'm curious to get your thoughts, especially as we've gotten more and more information on land, and as we get closer to the launch, hopefully, of land phase 1 and surveying. I'm curious to know how you guys are thinking through this, what your game plan is. If you have enough land, if you're planning to get more, if you're looking at trade land, I just want to know what your thoughts on it overall have been with the steady but very, very interesting and spicy drip of information that we've been getting over the past couple of months. So that is all I have. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.